The Simpsons.
Most economic decisions are an analysis of the costs to benefits of any particular choice of actions. And the decision to hold on to money as a physical asset is no different. I mean, if you think about it, even just choosing to have your money in your wallet versus on your debit card, there's a convenience that comes to having physical cash in your hand that you don't get by having it in your checkable deposits account. However, in having that physical money in your wallet, you pass up the opportunity of earning interest on that money as you would if it was in the bank. Now, you may be wondering if there's an easy graph that we can use to look at the costs and benefits of holding money or not. And I'm going to say a couple of words. You're going to definitely know what I mean. Is that money, again, physical money being used as an asset, is something that people demand. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Another demand chart. Here we come.
What you see here is the money demand curve. Now, as you'll notice, on the y-axis you have the nominal interest rate. On the x-axis you have the quantity of money, and you have two lines there, the demand for money and the supply of money. Now, you will notice that the curve slopes downwards because, all other things equal, a higher interest rate increases the opportunity cost of holding money, leading the public to reduce the quantity of money it demands. For example, if the interest rate is really low, the interest foregone by holding money is relatively small, so people will tend to hold more of it. But if the interest rate is really high, the opportunity cost of holding physical money as an asset is high, so people will only keep small amounts of cash in deposits, converting their assets into money only when necessary. Now, you might be wondering why the nominal interest rate is what we chose for the y-axis, as opposed to the rates of return on other assets, like real estate or investments in the stock market. The answer to that is that for most people, the question in deciding how much money to hold is to put them into your M1 assets, your assets that are very liquid and can be converted into money easily. Stocks don't fit that investment, neither do real estate, because there are large fees as well as some time that's involved in converting those monies into assets, those assets into money.
Like every other demand chart, this curve can be shifted. It can be shifted by, there are four common things. There's a change in price level, basically that if something costs more, generally, if the overall cost for goods and services in the economy is more, people will demand more money as an asset because they simply need more money, right? Back when movie tickets were only 5 cents to get in for an entire day of shows, people didn't need to carry around a lot of physical cash. However, once movie tickets started being $12, $13 per show, people need more physical money on them in order to make the same purchases. This is very similar to changes in real GDP, but it's kind of the reverse side of that coin. Where basically, so GDP is the amount that consumers are purchasing, correct? In effect, it's the amount that's being purchased, right? Well, if real GDP is higher, that is more stuff is being bought, more physical cash is going to be demanded across the economy as a whole, simply because more stuff is being bought. You also have to think about changes in technology. Basically, this is changes in technology in terms of the ease of getting money. The biggest example of this is ATMs. Back before ATMs, people would have to wait in line for at the bank all day would have to wait in long lines at the bank during the day in order to get physical money. So people would carry more physical money around with them because it meant fewer trips to the bank. However, now we just drive our cars straight through the ATM and we have any of the cash that we need. So nowadays, the demand for money is actually less, as money as an asset is less, because it's easier to come by in terms of getting the physical asset. The fourth thing that can affect the curve and shift the curve are changes in institutions. Again, there's really one prime example of that. This was the repeal of Regulation Q, that basically said that banks could not provide interest on checking accounts. Now, you might be more inclined to put money in a checking account if your bank raises the interest rate on that checking account, because you know that you can be earning interest on it that's more than holding it in your wallet, which is zero. And this goes back to the cost-benefit analysis that we were talking about earlier, where it gives you a different decision point and a different comparison while you are making these economic financial decisions. So there you pretty much have money markets. I know this is another demand graph and it's going to kind of be hard to keep this straight, but it's very similar to the other demand graphs in terms of what shifts, the common senses that you use with all of it. So I think you guys are going to be fine. And for now, this is Duncan driving away into AP Economics.